Ja, hello, expect players, expect lovers. Wikegård here, the Swedish hockey expert, sitting here in my home in Sigtuna outside Stockholm. The toughest playoff of all sports, I think, just started, NHL. After playing 82 games in the regular season, now comes in four different steps to make it to the Stanley Cup or to be the Stanley Cup champions. It's really, 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 really tough. And the difference between the regular season and the playoff is extremely big. The speed in the regular season is quick, hard, but the pace, the intensity, the physical demands of playing against each other every other day, uh, the scouting of players, what players do well, what players do not do well, what can they take, what can they not take. Everything is so detailed when it comes to the playoff. The coaches knows everything and they give it to the players. And the playoff, the Stanley Cup playoff is something extra. And you have to build your team to last uh, through the adversity, just to be able to play through injuries, pressure, and the best player have to play at their top. They have to be the team's best players right now. 30 teams started the season, 16 teams entered the playoffs. So the competition of make it to the playoffs is really, really tough. You know, New York Rangers missed this by, you can say that they missed it by one goal. So no, it's tough. It's really, really tough. If we look into the Eastern Conference, Washington, they play in a pretty weak Division Two there with Atlanta ended up second, but Washington would be my favorite. Pittsburgh to run up in that division. But if you take it game by game, Washington lost their first game against Montreal here the night that was, but is still my favorite to beat out Montreal. Montreal has a good team, but if you take the player by player with Ovechkin, Backstrom, Green, and so on, Suomen, Washington is one of the contenders to win the whole Stanley Cup this year. So Washington should beat Montreal. But they had a pretty easy, smooth ride. 121 points. Oh, it could be, they have to win. They're on with 1-0, and I read in the paper that, it takes a while to step up. You have to step up and be ready to play the playoff right away. Washington win that games 4-2, something like that. New Jersey against Philly. I think Philly has underachieved the season. They had some injuries too, but Philly won the first game. Boucher, the goaltender, played well. I think that they have a great chance to beat New Jersey. I don't think that Kovalchuk is really fitted into the team as well as they hope to. So I think that series, I think that Philly is going to be the winning team. Buffalo has the best goaltender in the world with Ryan Miller. They play against Boston, and I think that the goaltender Tuukka Rask in Boston is also a good goaltender. But I give my points to Buffalo. Buffalo is going to take that series also. They lead 1-0 in games. Then you have something a little bit extra. That's Pittsburgh versus Ottawa. Ottawa turned it around, had a horseshit season last year, really played well this year. They are the fifth team in the eastern side, and Pittsburgh, who won it last year, a lot of players moved out from the team, but they have the core still in the team with Malkin and Crosby, of course. Goaltender Fleury played absolutely super for them in the playoff last year. You have to do it this season too. I still think that Pittsburgh can turn it around. They're under 1-0 in games, but my money goes for Pittsburgh. Then you have in the Western Conference, that's here you have some teams that you think about how. We start with San Jose. San Jose Sharks is a team that I think for the last 2 years or even 3 years, I said before the playoffs started, this is the San Jose year. Then this Olympic, I saw Marlowe, I saw Thornton, I saw some of the other players who plays for other nations. when the pace goes up to absolutely world-class level, I don't think they have it in them. I think they're a little bit too slow, a little bit, they don't compete on this 100% level all the time. I think Nabokov in goals. San Jose is a great team. They had 113 points, second overall in the whole NHL. But I think the pressure, the history, Colorado's going to beat them. I think Colorado's going to give them a hell of a series, and I think that Colorado's going to be a little bit too tough for them. They have young guys, a lot of energy, nothing to lose. So my points goes to Colorado. Chicago, Nashville. Chicago is also a powerhouse, speed, youth. A little bit question for the goaltending. Cristobal Huet. They're going to beat Nashville. Nashville is a very consistent team, but they don't have the. I don't think they're going to lift themselves up to that level. And Nashville took 100 points in the regular season, so really, really good. But I still feel that Chicago has an extra gear to put in. Vancouver, Los Angeles. Vancouver, Luongo has been a goaltender that has been great for many, many years, but he has also a reputation of not being at the best when it really counts. I think that the Olympics show that he can play as the best when it really counts. He put Martin Brodeur as the second goaltender in for the Canadian team, and he won the gold medal with a couple of great saves, both in quarterfinal, semifinal, and the final. So I think with that self-confidence for Luongo, the goaltender, I think they can really lift it up this year in the playoffs. I don't think Vancouver is going to win the whole thing, but I think they're going to beat Los Angeles. Los Angeles isn't a team on the move. They're going to be better next year. I think that the coach Murray and the organization really have something going there with Brown and Kopitar and other guys. But Vancouver this year is going to beat them in the first round. And then you have also some surprises. Phoenix versus Red Wings. Red Wings has been a high-performance team for many, many years now, since the middle of the 90s. Done it really, really well. But I feel that they don't have the they don't have the amount of good third line and fourth line players. And even I feel like that Datsuk and Zetterberg is not at the same level this year as they were in the playoff last year. I know that they've been playing good after the Olympics, and they made it in pretty easy in the end to the playoffs, but they 1-0, 2-1, 0-0, beat them in shootouts and stuff like that. Goal scoring hasn't been their best. Phoenix, on the other side, is they 107 points, change out the Gretzky, the management, new wins coming in there. Dave Tippett, the coach, really tied things up for the system-wise. I put my money on Phoenix. I don't think the energy and the commitment really is at the Detroit side. I saw them here in Stockholm in beginning of October, and I felt like this is going to be a tough season for Detroit, and it has been. So my money goes to Phoenix. It's a young team, it's an ambitious team, and they're going to win it. So in Eastern, it's Colorado, Chicago, Vancouver, Phoenix. Oh, that's Western, sorry. Western. Colorado, Chicago, Vancouver, and Phoenix in the western side. And the eastern side, it's Washington, Philly, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. That's where my money goes. Oh, I hope you have a really nice spring. See as much hockey as you possibly have the time for. Those playoff games in NHL are really, really entertaining to see. I'll get back for the next round, the second round there, and see what's happening. I hope I have as much right as I can have. If you're not in, you can't win. Take it easy. Bye-bye.